Let's start. So, I assume everyone can see slides. My name is Lev. I'm a marketing director of TrueConf. And today with us, Rudolf, our sales executive, who works with most of you. And today we are going to tell you some new features we have introduced in the latest version of TrueConf Server, the version 4.3.5, which were released a couple of weeks ago. And let's start. Oh, I see someone joined us using free-to-free endpoint. Perfect. So to remind you what we are doing, we have prepared a couple of slides what is TrueConf Server is about. The main idea behind TrueConf Server is that this is a pure 100% software which can power entire your organization and enable it with video conferencing from rooms to mobile devices. Of course, desktops and laptops of your employees and colleagues already will be supported and enabled with video conferencing as well. This is our main goal, to enable your organization with video. Besides that, we of course support some additional things which is quite important for enterprises and companies, like Active Directory integration, like interoperability with legacy endpoints over SIP or free-to-free protocols. We also support WebRTC standard, which you are using to connect this conference today. Of course, TrueConf Server have such standard features like scheduling, recording, gateway, NAT traversal, some kind of some security features. It can split user base into different groups with different capabilities and many other things. But important to understand that TrueConf is a unified communications platform, which have a lot of client applications we develop. At the moment, we have 6 client applications, 2 for desktops, for Windows, for OS 6, and for Linux. The version for Linux and OS 6, OS 6 is an operating system behind Macintosh computers, is actually the same application. The Windows application is built on different technology, so that's why we have 2 different applications for desktops. We also have 2 different applications for mobiles, one for Android, and the second one for iOS devices, for iPhones and iPads. Those mobile applications are quite popular, and they have more than 500,000 downloads on Google Play and App Store. And the latest application which we're using right now, let me check how many people are connected using it. Give me a second. So 22 people are connected using our WebRTC application right now. I'm also connected to this conference using WebRTC client from using my phone. You can see it here. So I believe you can see the same picture. So because we have different applications for every platform, those applications can run in the background. So basically, they are like instant messaging application. You see your contacts, you see people status like online or offline, so you are aware of presence of your contacts. And of course, you can create any kinds of meetings, multi-point conferences ad hoc on the go. So you decided to connect a couple of people together, you just click a button and all of you are in the conference. No need to schedule the conferences. But of course you can do some kind of scheduling if needed using our web panel. So this is, in general, what is TrueConf Server is about. And the good thing about TrueConf Server is that it have a free version, absolutely free version, which were released 1 year ago. And I will ask Rudolf to continue and tell you briefly what is TrueConf Server free is.
Okay, I will a bit start from coming back to what is TrueConf Server, and I want to mention that our goal is making everything in one product, and you can download the TrueConf Server because it is a completely software product from our website, trueconf.com. It is quite small. It is around 100 megabytes. And now we are going to the TrueConf Server free that we have. And the most common would be providing a trial that is quite popular beneath other vendors. And the answer to this question is that it is because of the competition and popularity of TrueConf. And there are, of course, already some freeware products. And some companies, mostly small business companies or just private, are okay with having some limitations, but using TrueConf. So for such reasons, and sometimes we completely satisfy the technical requirements of them, we provide TrueConf Server free. Regarding the limitations that we have, there is no time limitation. That is a good point. But still, there is a 6 users limitations. Registration through the internet is required, and also some other advanced features, as we called, such as LDAP and UDP multicast, are not available in TrueConf Server free version. Anyway, we also can provide a trial version for the TrueConf Server full version. So if you want to test some features from the TrueConf Server full version, all you need to do is contact us, and we will provide you with some additional extensions.
Of course, we have to sell the full version. That's why the free version have some limitations that Rudolf told you about. The main limitation is that it is required that the free version has to be connected to the internet. It checks the connectivity a couple times per day, and if there is no connection to the internet, it will stop to work in 12 hours. So, but in every other aspect, in video quality, audio quality, collaboration tools, endpoint features, no limitations at all. So it gives you a quite powerful tool to connect small organizations. And another thing is that it cannot be federated. That means that you cannot connect a couple of free versions together to extend your user base. 6 plus 6 plus 6, this is not possible. Every deployment is independent in the free version. Full version doesn't have this limitation. Okay, so let's move on. So the first and the main important feature we introduced in the latest version 4.3.5 is the ability to create public conferences. For you, it will be more easy to understand them if we label them webinar. So think of them like webinars. So actually, most of you are connected through a browser. So you see it is a webinar which is powered by your own server. So your own platform for webinars is now built into the TrueConf server. Let's look into it in more details. Okay, Rudolf, go on.
Okay, so to start with, let's remind you what we had before the TrueConf Server 4.3.5 version in 4.3.2 version. So comparing to the older version, users of the server had a group conference and only accounts created on the TrueConf server could participate in the group conference. And in this version, in version 4.3.5, we call it internal conferences. In these conferences, users having an account in TrueConf server or other participants outside external users connected as guests or from different SIP or H323 terminals can also participate. So we call it public group conferencing. Okay, now here on this slide, you see how to create the public group conference. How to create? You will it is actually the same as creating an internal group conference. You will need to go to the TrueConf Server admin panel, then go to the group conference, and then click on Create button. And after it, the next slide, please. Yes, okay. Right now we can see a topic.
Rudolf,
Yep.
people tell us that. Okay, can you hear us and see right now?
But I can leave soon. Okay. Can you see us?
And you can hear us. Mm-hmm. Okay, so perfect. Thank you for the feedback. We have to tell you something that because you are using WebRTC, our server. Mm-hmm. So we are all connected to our server in Germany, and WebRTC from your browser, from usually it is Chrome, is requesting some kind of bandwidth from our server. So we try to push different independent streams to every peer, to every participant using WebRTC. And sometimes when your connection to our server isn't good, it doesn't affect others. It's just between you and the server. The bandwidth is not enough to push video and content. So if you experience some connectivity issues, it doesn't mean that everyone experiences them. It's just between it's usually your connection. But another thing is that WebRTC conference, which is quite large at the moment, it's more than 30 participants. If it will disappear, you will not be able to see us. Don't worry. You have to refresh the page. It might happen. We are working on this, but don't worry. Just refresh the page if something goes wrong, and we will be back. Okay, Rudolf, please go on.
Okay, so now on this slide, you can see that it is possible to create a subject, a topic to the event, and also you can see a conference ID of this event. So basically, what is conference ID? It is a specific conference name used to connect from different platforms to this event. Now there is an option, also maybe to the next slide, left, where you can see a scheduling and description to the event. This is very good because in this option, you can add subjects, different tasks, what that you would like to discuss in your company or anything else. You can also schedule, and we've got a number of options to schedule a group conference. There is an option to schedule it without planning. So it will be created right now, and that's it. Another option is to have a non-current event for the next time, non-recurrent one-time event, and then you have an option to have it every week. So it will be a periodic event. Next slide. Okay, perfect. So on this slide, you can see group conference appeared at the general list of the group conferences, and you can see a URL that you can share to all participants. Also, there is a few ways to add users and share the event on the next slide, and I left. Maybe you will tell us a bit more about it.
Sure. This slide shows that every conference created or scheduled on the server have the link which is used to access it. This link assigned to every private and every public conference. So the example of this link is you used today to join this meeting. So this is actual screenshot I took from our server in Germany, which we are using right now. Important thing is that once you put all the details regarding your conference in the settings, edit the description. Now the important thing is to populate it, to tell us who will participate in the conference. We have multiple options to invite people or guests into the conference. This picture shows you the interface of the server, which is used to select participants from your registered accounts on your server. However, sometimes you have to invite people which are not registered on your server, to invite guests. So to invite guests, it is possible in the settings of every conference to enter emails manually. You can manually enter as many emails if you as you want, and every email will receive invitation. It might be not a personal email. It might be some kind of group, some kind of group email address which is aliased to many user accounts, some kind of members of your company or whatever. So everyone will receive the invitation.
So to summarize, there are actually two ways to add users. You can add TrueConf Server already created accounts, and you can also invite guests with their email.
And every person will receive a file which are recognized by multiple calendars. So it is easy now to add the conference details into your calendar. I'm sorry for Russian screenshot that doesn't have English environment in my Gmail browser. And just an example, how does the invitation look like in Gmail? So it's just a regular invitation for Gmail. You can in one click add it to your Gmail account, to your Google Calendar. If you even have a schedule you like every Monday or every first week of every month, of course, this event will also be properly scheduled in the calendar. If you notice that on this screenshot, there is a small invite that's attached to the email, which is standard for calendar invitations. So all the information regarding your event is within this file, which is also recognized by Thunderbird or Apple Mail, Apple Calendar. So it's cross-platform, just one file for every platform, and it will be recognized, and it can be easily added into your calendar. Microsoft Outlook as well supported.
Basically, once you have added date and time to the event, all listed participants will receive such invitation to their email or calendar.
Yeah, this is important notice, because if you didn't set the start time of the conference, it doesn't have a date and time for the event. It cannot be added into the calendar this way. So to enable this feature, you have to select the start time or some kind of schedule. Okay, Rudolf, please go on.
Okay, so now we have a new WebRTC client, new conference web page, and what does it mean? I believe all of you saw the external event page from which you have connected. So here are a few steps. Let's go to the next slide,
Okay,
please. How to connect to this event. So previously, let's compare to our previous TrueConf Server version. There was a conference ID when created any group conference. You had a CID, conference ID, and which with this conference ID, you've opened a WebRTC application, and there was no description to the event at all. Also, we had there was no information what kind of the group conference was created and who is participating the event as well. Now you can see all this in this external event page. you can add description and all interesting information. You have two windows on the right side. The first one, marked in red, is specially to connect guest users. This option is available only in public group conferences. And the second one, marked green, is for TrueConf Server users. You have same option in internal group conferences.
The thing we introduced this page is to allow people to accumulate somewhere. So they don't need to enter the conference immediately. They have to read the description, see who is the owner, who will participate in the meeting, and wait somewhere before it starts. So when the proper time arrives, you will see the join button. Once you click the join button, you will join the conference. But there are many ways how you can join, because if you open this link of the conference in Internet Explorer browser or latest Microsoft Edge browser, which doesn't support WebRTC at the moment, you will not be able to join it via WebRTC. And we supported it. So actually, there are 4 different ways how you can join the meeting. 4 absolutely different ways, which guarantees that every participant who received the link to the conference will somehow join it and will participate in it. So the first alternative way to join the conference, which we use in Internet Explorer and Edge browser, it's also available for Safari browser on Windows, is so-called single-used Windows application file. When you click on the join button, this file with a pretty long file name you can see on the picture will be downloaded. Within this file name, there are a couple of parameters encoded. Among them, your guest name you entered on the conference page, the server address which held the conference, and the conference ID you have to connect. So after the installation, this application will run automatically and will automatically authorized as a guest and then automatically connect to the specific conference. You don't have to worry, just one click, install, and now you are in. This principle, this way how to join, way to join conferences is used in WebEx, in GoToMeeting, and many other solutions. So this is quite familiar way for most of you. But it's actually used rarely because WebRTC is quite good and supported by most browsers at the moment. Another way how to join the conference is to use any client application of TrueConf. If you are connected to our cloud solution called TrueConf Online, or if you are connected to your copy or your customer copy or your employee copy of TrueConf Server, you can join the conference from there. So you just need to enter the conference ID and the server address. I have enriched, I have make big text with the conference ID. You can see it on this page. It's actually /C/ conference name. Today's conference name is TCS435. And after the @ sign, there is a TrueConf server address. We are connected to video.trueconf.com server. It's a standalone on-premises server. We deployed on some server in Germany to connect it today. I can connect this meeting from every application, from cloud, from Windows, from Android. You can see the screenshot on the left here, which I took from my Android phone. So this is a very easy way to connect the meeting. Of course, on the conference page, there is a short instruction. We detect your browser, we detect your operating system, and we show the proper instruction for your operating system if somehow WebRTC is not available. And of course, the most popular way to join the meeting is WebRTC. You are connected, most of you are connected using WebRTC. And there are some new features we have introduced in the latest version of TrueConf Server to our WebRTC client. Rudolf, go on.
Okay, so to participate through WebRTC, it is possible through browsers that support WebRTC protocol, and most of Chromium-based, all Chromium-based browsers support it. To connect to the WebRTC group conference, you will need to press button connect, as we showed before at slide 17 probably.
Join button.
Join button, yes, join
It
button.
depends on the language. The solution is localized to 11 different languages, and so it depends on your language.
Exactly, and in return, it opens a WebRTC widget.